sit. I always have Ellie sit at every doorway before I go in. We practice this little front door exercise where I have her sit on the outside. I step in, she waits till I come back to her. She pops up like that, you're gonna say no. Do a little left circle, see how I'm just stepping into her this way? And put her back. You already said the SIT word once, you don't say it again, you just say no and you reset her, do it again. And she's extra excited because there's a camera person standing right there and she likes that person. That's not usually the way it is, so she was triggered to get up and go over there. So I'll do it again just to make sure she gets it. She's really waiting. She needs to wait till you come back next to her, pat your leg and say, okay. And if she starts to pull you through like she used to do, just reinforce that walking through the boundary slowly. See how she's doing it, being really careful, because we practiced it a lot. You're gonna do a little left turn if you need to close your door. Everything's left. Notice how it's left circles. It's just so much less work for you, and it's a very dominant move for her. Sit when your body is literally hurting her and showing her where to go. It keeps the struggling on a leash to a bare minimum. I know you like her. So you saw how I brought her in, had her sit in front of the mat. Now I'm gonna say, go to your mat and down. And if she doesn't go down fast enough like that, and she does, this is one of her little things, she's kind of slow with this. You never repeat anything. If she's a little bit slow like that, in this situation, just with your left foot, just reinforce it like that, like you saw me do. Never repeat anything. All she knows is she heard it once and she ended up there. That's why she keeps getting better and better at this. Good. And then you start this exercise very, very slowly and in a real easy way where you stand in front of her like this, give her the rewards. Good. You're placing them on the mat. And she's not grabbing it out of your hands. She's not even touching your hand. You're placing it on the mat. Nope. If she tries to do that, you say no and pull back. See that? Good. She has to think, focus, be calm enough to wait until you place it there, withdraw, and take it off the mat, just like that. It's really important that it's all about how you deliver the reward that matters so much. So once you've got that down, and you might be like, when you take her home, you might be doing this for a week where this is the whole exercise right here. Get her to stay there and reward her and make sure that, no, see, she touched my hand. See what I did? I said no and I pulled back up. Nope. You need her like this far away, not right on top of you like that. See, now she's getting it. Good. And I'm putting it to this side so the camera can see it, but it's normally right in front like this. And she's waiting. Good. Respectfully until I withdraw and taking the treat off the mat. Maybe you're just doing that for a few days, but you got to get that down. Then you start doing more things like doing things that might trigger her to get up, like walking around her. This is just a basic downstay, right? Where she accepts you walking around her both ways. She stays there. You always come back to where you started and reward always from here. Good. Always say good as you give it to her like that. So no matter where you go, what you do, you're always going to come back to the same place because they thrive on knowing exactly how it's going to go. You may do all these crazy things, make these noises, go these different places, but she knows. She just waits calmly, patiently, and you always come back like this, and this is the end of each one. Good. You come back, rewarded the same way. So once you can handle that, now I'm going to drop the leash so I can walk farther away. Maybe mix it up a little bit, just to show you at every step, everything I do is just a little bit harder than the last thing I did. Good, making sure she really waits and she's not reactive, she's not grabbing the food, she's not disrespecting you by trying to take it out of your hand or, nuzzling your hand or whatever. She knows the rules of this game, and so you have to make sure she plays the rules perfectly, because the byproduct of all these little things and her doing it properly is that she comes out of this and she's calmer. And that's what you really want. You want her to be calmer in general, even when you're not training her. So you have to do these little things that keep her calm when you're doing the different training exercises. So now she's obviously okay no matter where I go. I'm just gonna walk pass the camera here into the back part of the house, disappear, and you'll hear me open the back door and close it. And it's okay if she turns around to look, but you don't want her to turn her body. And she kind of did, sort of, but then, good. Oops, no. And she kicked it. And so that's a mistake. Okay, I'm going to reset her. If she ever gets crooked or makes a mistake, you just say okay, you do your little circle, reset her where she's supposed to be, reward her. Nope. Make sure you keep her on track. Good. I should also point out that this is only half of the training. Really, she's only here for maybe a little bit less than 2 weeks, and the live-in program is very often 3.5 to 4 weeks, depending on how much the dog needs. So this is all brand new behavior. She doesn't know it that well, although she knows it. But you know, if she was going to stay, hey, see that? That's not allowed. She needs to be focused on you. I'm talking a lot, which I normally don't do if I'm training, so she could lose focus. Good. Because she just learned this and it's all brand new, she doesn't know it at a deep level, which of course is why this video is so important, so that you continue on, because you're going to be the trainer when she comes back to you, because we only did half the program. But at least she knows what all this is. Your job is to do my moves so that you continue training her, so that she really gets it over time. So now I'm going to start doing things that are more difficult, like going back in the back of the house. There's a door here. I'm going to go behind that door and make a noise and see if she stays there. And if you're ever going to do something that's difficult for the dog, it's okay to remind her what you want her to keep doing. So I'm going to say down. I'm going to go back here, close the door behind me, lock the door. Oh, and she stayed there. Good. She stayed there, so that's a success. Good. And see how calmly I come back and I slow down and I reward her? Because if you're tossing the food down, if you're moving fast like that, especially with food in your hand, it'll make her reactive and lose focus. So when you come back from whatever you're doing, make sure that you're calm and you deliver it in a very calm way. So she handled that. Now let's try something harder. Down. Knock on the front door. Good. And if she does something exceptional like that, good. Double reward. Give her a bigger reward, because that was really hard for her to do. Let's do some other stuff. So that's her sticking point when I go over to the window. Like I said, if she was going to be here the whole time, I would have worked through that in the coming week, but we're not there yet. So I come in, I say no. And see how I just said no? I walked around. You already said D-O-W-N one time. You need this training to be really spot on, and so you do not repeat the command. The first time you said the D-O-W-N command, if it means 5 minutes, it means 5 minutes. Do not repeat that command. If she makes a mistake, you say no and put her back. So let's try it again. So when you're reminding her what to keep doing, it's a little bit different than not repeating it. So I'm just reminding her what to keep doing. Down. No. And you're only doing that reminder down just during the training period, because later on you're not going to need it. So if she makes a mistake, you just do your little reset circle, put her back. So this is what you're going to have to do, because she's not fully trained yet. She's getting stuck. She's kind of stuck now because she's losing focus. So you just have to be really calm. And of course, all this talking is also making her more reactive, because normally I wouldn't be talking at all. I'd just be saying very few words. But we're going to try to see what we can get. Nope. See if we can end on a success here. And the way to do that, you don't correct, you just reset. You keep on resetting so that she learns the new way instead. Down. So that time she's staying down, and I'm going to end there. And she gets a reward. Good. So the other things I would be doing in a week to 2 weeks when she was better after more training, I'd be banging on the windows. I'd be messing with the male slot like this, which gets a lot of dogs to get up. Good, it's easier for her because I'm standing in front of her. I'd also be ringing the doorbell, which some dogs triggers some dogs. Some other dogs no. Good. She's okay with all that stuff when I'm here, but it's different if nobody's here and you're on the other side of the door. But you can see she has some good skills just for less than 2 weeks of training. And you just continue doing it this way. Nope. And of course, she has anticipation when she thinks the exercise is over. When you go to pick up the leash, of course, she's going to pop up. So be ready to reset her. And whatever it was that she made a mistake on, you need to start at that place again. So for me, it was, and for her, it was picking up the leash. And now she's like, okay, I got to do it the right way. She waits until you walk next to her. Okay, pat your leg, have her sit. And then the front door exercise, always. I do this every time with every boundary. She gets up, nope. Reset her. It takes a lot of focus, and she has to be thinking and she has to be calm in order to do this. That's why this boundary thing is so important. Nope. And if you have to do this 5 times, which of course I had to do a couple weeks ago when we started with her, you do it because you have to keep resetting her and letting her know you don't go through this boundary until you do it the right way. And then when she waits till you actually come back, okay, and make sure that you might have to just do a little prompt like that, just kind of like tapping the brakes to make sure that she doesn't pull you through. And then on the outside, it's do this so you can see it. Sit. It's a sit on the porch. If I'm going to let her be free, then I release her out here after you've gone through the boundary. Go. Now she's free and she can go have some free time. Sit. Good. So when she sits, eye contact, give her a reward. She's looking at me in the eyes because I have the treat right there. And then straight down. Good. She's looking at me as she gets the treat and I say good. It's really important. It seems like a little thing, but it's really important. It's so much better than what you usually see. The dog does something, you go down, she's looking over somewhere indiscriminate, and the giant hand comes out of the sky. She doesn't even really attach it to you. So don't reward her that way because it makes you irrelevant. If she's getting the treat as she's looking at you in the eyes, it's just another one of those things that changes the dog's relationship with you, changes her perception of you. Eye contact at the right moment like that is really important to making the dog change the way that she perceives you. And of course, we want her to change in a way that makes her take you more seriously. And when you ask her to do something, she does it right away without you having to say it twice. So that's how we want her to perceive you. I did a little sit stay, basic sit stay, which she just learned a few days ago because she's not here for the whole program, but she's doing pretty good. And so when I go back, one more reward, good, as she looks at me. And by the way, if she had not sat the first time I told her, I would not have repeated. Don't ever repeat it. Even if you have to apply a little bit of pressure, and it's not a pop, a jerk, or anything like that. Let's say she doesn't do it. You just apply a little bit of pressure. Her butt most likely is going to go down. If it doesn't, worst case scenario, you continue that pressure. It's just gentle but firm with the right hand, and then your left hand is free to gently ease her down. All she knows is even if it's 10 seconds later, she heard that command and she ended up there, and that's why she'll start doing it the first time she hears it, and you won't have to do that. So that's what you're going to do if she ever ignores you. There is no stay. You don't have to say stay. Sit means to stay there till she's released. So you can practice your little sit stays like this wherever you want, and the more different places you practice it, the better she's going to be, because then she's going to start to generalize and realize that, hey, anytime, any place, anywhere, good, I'm going to do that. So don't just practice this in one spot. You practice it in one spot until you're good there, and then you try another spot, and pretty soon you got 3 or 4 or 5 different places you're practicing it. So that's how to do the sit stay. And when you're releasing her, if you're going to walk with her, you pat your leg and say, okay, like this, and she'll walk with you, see, like that. If you're going to, okay, let her be free, sit on free time, then you're going to, she's on your left with your right hand, you're going to pat her chest and say, make sure that she really waits until you release her though. Go. and then she knows she's free. So there's 2 ways of releasing her. Okay. I want to show you how I've been practicing the recall command with her, which is come. And right now, there's nothing to call her away from, so this may happen to you sometimes. She's not going to stop looking away from you, and one of the rules is, well, she's looking away from me now, so I'll show you. Left hand leash, right hand reward. Come! Good. See how I backed away? When you back away, she sees you backing away. The dog's going to be drawn to you like a magnet, so you always back away when you're practicing. Sit. You're going to have her sit, then release her again. Go. And also, always practice calling her when at least she's looking away from you, because that's more of a real life situation. She's not going to be staring at you lovingly when you need her to come to you. She's going to be running somewhere, about to jump on somebody, about to get into the trash, or smelling something that's gross on the street, whatever it is. And so you want to practice in a real life context where she hears it, breaks away, and comes back to you every time. So you always practice in a way that's going to help you in a real life situation. What I was saying in the beginning was, if she won't stop looking at you and you just want to practice your recall, show her you have a treat and toss it, go, and then call her away from the treat. Come, let her have it first, and then call her away from it. Good. And so you notice I'm backing away, and I always practice like this. Left hand leash, right hand reward. The reward's in a fist. It's a closed hand, because when you don't have food, she's still going to want to come to this. She won't even know why she wants to come to this. If you have an open hand when you start phasing the food out, or you don't have food, she's going to see it's empty and she's going to think you're a joke. So you always want to use this target, because later on, if you practice this a few more weeks, she won't know why she wants to come to this target, and you won't need food hardly ever anymore. You just do it without the food, and she'll always come to this target. So it's come. See how I'm backing away? And she'll come to, even if I change direction in a real drastic way. Good. See what I did? Her nose touched my target. I open it. She got the treat. At the same moment, I grab the leash. The leash is going to be on your left, so that's why you have the leash like this. And all you do is you step into her, sit. And then if you're going to walk her, you just switch and you're ready. See how easy that is? You just got to practice it. Most likely, you've been used to doing this a lot and wrapping it up and doing these kind of things. So this is really learning this simple, streamlined way is really about not doing what you've done before, because this is obviously very streamlined and easy. So just practice it. You have the videos, and practice this, and you'll see after you get used to it, it's very simple. It's so much easier. Okay. Show you this little greeting routine. You always approach people. You never have them approach you. Sit. And she has been wonderful with new people, but still I want to show you how to do it, because she could get super excited, and she is a big dog, so she could get excited and be kind of obnoxious by jumping on people or knocking people down, or elderly people or older people, whatever. So I had her sit. I step away from her. I give the new person a reward there, and then she waits until you come back next to her, and she has a reward. Go down and offer it to her. See how that makes her want to go over? But you're never restraining her. She's really waiting to be allowed to go over there. And if she makes a mistake, nope. You say no. You do your little left circle like this. Put her back. And you can even repeat this part too. So she really wants to go over and get that treat, but she knows she has to wait. And we'll be here all day. I'd do that over and over again until she was ready to focus. And then she knows, though, that the sooner she focuses, the quicker she gets the treat. Go say hi. And she gets petted, and then you say, come. Call her back. Most you'll have to do with a recall with her is just, she paused just for a split second, and you don't wait for her to think about it for 3 seconds. If you watch the video again, you can see me just doing this a little. It's just a little prompt, like a, hey, I just called you, and that's all you need. And then she turns around, looks at you, she sees you backing away, she's going to be drawn to you. So that's worst case scenario. If she doesn't respond right away, you just do a little prompt, and she will come to you. Sit. Let's just do it a couple more times so you can see it. It's the same way every time. Like I said, always put your new person, your visitor, whatever, somewhere. Bring her out from wherever she is up to the person like this. Never have somebody approach, because that'll make them really excited. Go say hi. She gets a treat. She gets petted for a second. Come. That time I didn't have to prompt her. It's a great way to practice your recall. And also it's a great way you're also practicing your sit stay. Sit. Just having her practice a sit stay in a different situation, a situation where she's going to be super excited. So you could practice this with family members at first, just to get the moves down. Go. Make sure she really waits until you actually send over. Make sure she's not jumping the gun. Come. So it's always this way. Good. And you can plug in different people as well. And the more you do it, the better. It's much better to do it in a neutral area like your yard or in front of your house, someplace like that, that's open and neutral. Whereas inside the house, letting somebody walk through that front door and the dogs being on the inside can make them feel nervous, extra nervous. And if you have any issues at all of overexcitement or even guarding your house, that can cause more of that because you're allowing people to walk through your house and they're already in there, so that would trigger that guarding stuff. So it's really great to do it at first, at least, where you bring the dog out and you do it in a neutral spot. And then later on, there's a certain way to do it where you bring them in and do the green routine in there. You move closer and closer to the front door with visitors, and then you won't have to do this anymore. It's not for forever, but if you start out this way, you won't have issues, and then you gradually work up to having people come into the house. Sit. We have our little crate routine I want to show you. I always have her sit. I open the door. No. Make sure that she waits. You can just do a little prompt like you saw me doing and say no. Make sure that she waits. And you're never restraining her. So see how she's really waiting. I'm not holding her in place. With your right hand, go. Send her in. She loves her crate. She goes in there, she turns around, she gets a treat. This is what I've done every time. Sometimes she's funny. Ellie's funny. She won't take the treat until you close the door and leave. So I just put it in there. We're using this natural balance sausage, which she likes a lot, but she's kind of funny. Now she's eating it because it's on the floor. But still, the impression is made with her that hey, I go in here and good stuff happens when I go in here. She goes in there, she turns around, reward for going in there. If she tries to come out before you release her, say no. And you can even do this, like do a little, what I call a token. It's just a token slam. You're not touching her. It's just a signal. And so when I first got her in, what I would do is I would do that, and then she would wait, no. So you need both hands free. So if you're doing this with her, so the goal is that she respects this boundary, good. And so she waits to be allowed out and she waits to be allowed in. It makes you much more powerful in their mind. She tries to come out, no. She waits, good. So now she's waiting. One last one, good. And I took off her little prong collar when she was in there, closed the door. She's been sleeping overnight in the crate. And throughout the day, her routine is the same, in and out constantly. She might be in there for an hour, out for an hour, in for half an hour, out for an hour, vice versa. But it's just constant in and out. And her crate normally isn't right here. It's actually in one of the back bedrooms, but it's easier to film it here. So this is her first time being in a crate in this spot, and this is not her crate. So what might happen at your house if you haven't been doing this already, or if you haven't done it in the way I'm showing you, she might have anxiety and whine a little bit because she's not used to doing it there. But you can imagine what I went through here when the first few days she was here. But we just kept doing this. You feed her in her crate, you give her Bones and Chewy. She loves these frozen peanut butter bones we have. Just everything good happens in the crate. And so her association with going in there and being in there is always super good. We're of course never using the crate to punish her. We don't punish dogs actually. And every association of the crate is positive and good. So when you put her in there and you take off her prong collar, you just hang it on the crate like that. It's just a real easy place to put it. So let's say she's been in there for a little while and I want to take her out and want to do some more training or something. I'm just going to take the prong collar, hook it up to the leash like this, and she has anxiety here because she's like, why is that person standing there and why am I not where I usually am? She has a fair amount of anxiety, but this training is what makes her over time calmer actually. So she waits, she gets a reward, good, which she's not taking, but if she tries to come out, you just say no. See how gentle it is, but it's firm. She knows what it means. So she needs to wait until you reach in, hook up her collar, it's really easy to do, really fast. And she's all hooked up and ready to go, but she needs to wait until you allow her to come out. So see how she's waiting? She'll come out when you say, okay. She comes out. You can kind of step into her like that to get her on your left, go back. Close this door, because the power of this crate is that you show her, you control her access in and out. So it's a whole training routine unto itself. She waits to be allowed to go in. She waits to be allowed to come out. And so you have to put her in and out of the crate anyway. So why not use it as a tool for training like this? So it's a great way to have some really high value training that really affects her in a positive way, and save time, and for you as well, because you have to put her in and out of the crate anyway. So why not make that part of the training? Okay.